you there?
I am here. Hi, guys.
Hey,
Good morning.
welcome to your live stream.
Oh my gosh. Isn't this amazing? Thank you guys so much.
No worries. But would you like to know how much we've raised so far in the first 52 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, so on the super chat, we currently have $130,
What?
and then on GoFundMe, Tim, do you want to drop the
We're
link?
in GoFundMe. We're at $150 right now.
So
Oh
we
my gosh.
so we,
You
so, we, so,
guys,
so we've made
that's amazing.
yeah, $300 in 52 minutes.
Holy wow. That's incredible. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we should probably introduce Jen. Tim, do you want to do the honors? Introduce Jen
Yeah,
to everyone.
absolutely. So Jen Sales joining us right now. She is the CEO and founder, and basically the doer of everything at Sail Ranch Sanctuary. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization that she started in Temecula, California. Officially, it was started about 2 years ago, but she's really been doing it for about 6 or 7 years. And I'm going to let Jen take the floor and just explain to you guys a little bit about what she does, why she does it, and what she hopes to accomplish. So Jen, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us all a little bit about what you do?
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. I am Jen Sale, like Tim said. And my husband and I founded Sail Ranch Sanctuary 6 years ago. We moved out to the country in Temecula wine country area with the sole purpose of rescuing. What we didn't know until we got here, we came with, a certain idea that we were gonna rescue some horses and advocate on their behalf. This had been really just a lifelong goal of mine. I grew up riding horses. I had two small kids and was boarding my horse out, and it was very expensive, and I couldn't give him the time that he needed. So I, and with help of my parents, gave him to a family friend. And once we did that, my goal was always to get horses again. But instead of doing it on the show circuit or training and all that, I wanted to rescue. And I wanted to do that once our kids were grown and I had the time that I could dedicate. So again, when our youngest graduated high school, we came to the country out in wine country, Temecula, for the sole purpose to rescue horses. But when we got here, oh my gosh, I just started learning so many things I had no idea about, one of which was the horse slaughter pipeline, and how there's a pipeline that goes into Mexico and Canada, because as of currently right now, you cannot slaughter horses or donkeys in America. I didn't know that. And I grew up riding horses. I grew up around horses. Why didn't I know that? And so, that kind of got us thinking. And we started, talking about that, learning about that, educating ourselves about the plight of horses in all different disciplines of equestrian sports. A couple years into it, almost 3 years into it, I got a phone call from a friend of mine who does horse rescue. And she was at a low-end auction about an hour and a half, 2 hours from here. And she had come across essentially a pile of dead goat babies, brand new goat babies. And there were a few that were still alive. And she was calling around in a panic, trying to see if people could, help take these babies. So, of course, my husband Dave and I said, yes, we would take a couple. And it was, again, one of those moments where, we were like, what the heck was that? And we started reading and researching and learning. And, what we found out was that where we live is so amazing. It's beautiful. The people are amazing. But just the location of where we live, where the ranch is, gives us an opportunity to advocate and educate on so many different levels. So we can talk about the horse racing industry. We can talk about different disciples in, whether it's polo or eventing, any horse sport. But also, because we're close to Mexico, we can talk about the slaughter pipeline. And also, there's a lot of dairies in our area. There's a lot of small operations. There's some really large operations. And so, the more that we learned about the plight of farm animals, the more, we were just so blown away. I mean, our hearts exploded and then our brains exploded. It was like the more we learned, the more we felt like, man, if we don't know this stuff, who else doesn't know this stuff? And so, we just started sharing what we knew with people, and not in a judgmental way. If we didn't know, who else doesn't know? And so we just, from that moment on, it's actually this month, 3 years ago, is when we got the call about Kid Rock and Clover. And Kid Rock and Clover were 2 out of 5 surviving goat babies that were found in that dead pile that day. Out of dozens, only 5 survived, and Kid Rock and Clover are 2 of them. And since that day, really the focus and the mission has developed so much bigger for Sail Ranch Sanctuary. And we just really advocate on behalf of the plight of farm animals. People don't know. And so, we want to try to bridge that gap. Animals are beautiful beings. They're not just objects. They're not just things. You don't just go to the market and grab whatever off the shelf. There's so much more to that. And we just live in a society where we're so disconnected. We're busy, and I get it. People are running to get their kids to school. They're trying to get to work. You're trying to get from A to B as fast as you possibly can. And, sometimes it's really easy just to hit a drive-through or grab something, quickly and cheaply, but we just don't understand the bigger picture of that. One, that there's animals, totally connected to that and the suffering that they go through. And then in addition, because of the way that we do things these days, there's a health aspect. There's a planet aspect to it. It's just such a bigger picture. And so we just try to talk about that in a way that's kind, because I do believe that, it doesn't matter if we have 2 legs or 4 legs. We're all worthy. We're all worthy of kindness, and we're all worthy of compassion. And so I don't think that we can preach kindness for one and then blast another. So in educating and trying to bring awareness, we try to do it in a way that gets people thinking instead of running away from us. And then, of course, we have the animals. You come and you get to belly rub, a pig. You get to kiss a cow and hug a donkey. They're magical. Animals are the most amazing healers. And no matter what comes out of my mouth in talking with people, by the time you're done hanging out with me and you get to do one of those 3 things I just said, powerful, powerful, powerful. So that's a lot about what we try to do. Our mission here is to just, make that connection for people on a lot of different levels. Like I said, animal welfare, our own health, the planet, there's so many levels to this, and we're so disconnected. We're just so disconnected. So that's what we try to do.
Well, you're doing an amazing job, Jen.
You're doing an amazing job, Jen.
I think I'm.
Yeah, you got a bad echo.
Oh, Jen, have you got any headphones there at all?
Oh yeah, I'm losing you. You're kind of breaking up on me too.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're doing unbelievable work, Ben. Do you think so? For me, I often make the joke that I think that dogs are the best animal rights advocates, because dogs teach humans how to love animals. And I think that's true with a lot of, I don't think that's exclusively true with dogs. I think that's actually true of a lot of animals. I think many of them are like the animals on your ranch, like Cherry or Faith. All these animals end up being the best advocate for other animals because people get to spend time with them, understand how special they really are and how much their life experience is like ours. So do you think on your ranch there's one particular animal, or maybe a few, that really stand out in terms of how they're able to help you connect with the community?
Absolutely. I completely agree with that too, Tim. People don't have, we don't live in a society where everybody is living on acreage and have farm animals. So a lot of people have never had an opportunity to be around a cow or a pig or a goat or a sheep or a horse. it's very foreign. And so, you know, dogs are amazing, right? Dogs are amazing because they love you. They're so happy to see you. You connect with them. Farm animals, exactly the same thing. And so I do totally agree with you on that. And we have, gosh, we have several animals here that seem to help make that connection in a really powerful way. One is Baby Faith. Baby Faith Hill turned 1 October 18th. She spent the first 2.5 weeks of her life living in our shower. My husband is amazing because I had a cow in our house for 2.5 weeks, and he was completely on board with it. So that was pretty amazing. But the reason she was in the house so long is because she was so sick. So Faithy, you know, I share the stories. I try to share the animals multiple times a day, but when we have animals that we rescue, specifically from our food industry, that are so critically ill, that are just literally fighting for their life, I share the ups and downs, and I try to post multiple times a day so that people understand what we're doing and that they connect to that. And so with Faithy, she was so touch and go. You know, she required around the clock medical care for weeks, and we almost lost her daily. Every single day she would crash. And so people really connected with her and were rooting for her and just were praying for her and sending love and light and rooting for her and wanted her to live so badly with us. And when she made it, she's a survivor, and now they get to come and, you know, hug and kiss on her. It's powerful. So she definitely is an amazing ambassador. We have baby George Strait. Georgie is a goat baby who came to us last culling season, so earlier this year. He is one of 7 goat babies that we rescued directly from a dairy farmer up north. And most of the babies didn't make it. And he was really sick. He was really sick, and it took him weeks to get strong. So people, you know, because we shared his story multiple times a day, really are connected to him. We have several horses that came here that were literally skin and bones that we didn't think would make it, and they're fat, healthy, and happy now. And people, you know, get to come and see them. And, you know, whether you live, you know, local to us and you can come take a tour at the ranch, or you follow us, you know, online globally, you know, people feel really connected to some of the animals. I think especially the animals who fought extra hard to make it. You know, it's powerful because people don't have the opportunity, like I said, to have animals at their home. You know, they're not living on a ranch like we are. And because we specialize in babies discarded from our food industry, they're critically sick. So when they come here, unfortunately, not all of them make it. We lose a lot of babies because they're just too weak and too fragile. So the ones that are fighting, and you get to follow along online with that, they build really big connections.
I mean,
so I think we have several.
Like I say, one of the animals I really connected with when I came to the sanctuary, actually there was 2, Cherry, the pig,
Yeah,
the sweetest little thing ever, and Alvin the turkey, who I just thought had a really interesting story. I mean, could you tell people a little bit about you know, Cherry and Alvin's story? Because I thought, yeah, especially Alvin, because I thought it was just something that I don't know a lot of people even realise happens, like that kind of Mexican wedding ceremony, which is very, very, very strange.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, you know, Chris, we didn't know about that either. I always feel like, you know, we're presented with just such shocking stories sometimes that, you know, I often feel like, you know, I just can't be shocked anymore. And then I am. And Alvin was one of those. So Alvin is a turkey. He was born for his flesh, and he was sold to a family for a wedding ritual. So from what I understand, the research that actually Tim and I did was Alvin was purchased to be used at this wedding ritual. And what they do is they force feed alcohol to the turkey. They try to kill the turkey by alcohol poisoning him. If they can't overdose him with alcohol, they then dance around with him. So they fling him around to people in a circle. They wear him on their hat, on their head as a hat. They dance around. They swing him by his wings. And the idea here is that they try to kill the turkey. And if they can't kill the turkey through alcohol and dancing around with him, it's supposed to be a testimony to the strength of this new marriage. And how we know that this is what happened is after we were notified, and got Alvin here, we did our own research. But what happened was there was a lady, a Good Samaritan. She is a teacher in a city, a few cities away from us. And the back of her classroom, the windows, when the kids look out, you can see into the yards of houses, the neighborhood around the school. And the students in her classroom started saying, hey, Mrs. Teacher Lady, there's a turkey over there. And she was like, what? And they said, look, there's a turkey, there's a turkey. And so sure enough, she looked out the window and there was Alvin tied to a tree with a rope around his foot. And this was on a Monday morning. So they kind of kept an eye on him. And by Tuesday, he was a little bit more tangled around the tree. There was no food or water in sight. By Wednesday, this teacher was so distressed by seeing this turkey. He was completely wound up in the rope that was initially around his 1 foot. He was totally entangled. Somebody had thrown lettuce to him, but of course it was out of reach. So come Wednesday, 3 days that they're aware of, this turkey's been tied to a tree, no food, no water, entangled in a rope. She went over and asked the lady at the house, what is the deal with this turkey and what's going on? And they very proudly told her about the wedding that they had the Saturday before and the big celebration. And they were actually going to be slaughtering him for their family. And so the teacher was so distraught by all of it. She said, I will buy him from you. And apparently she did. So she bought a turkey and then freaked out because she lives in an apartment in the city. She can't have a turkey, but there was no way she was going to leave him there. And reached out to us. And, thankfully we were able to bring him here. When he got here, he had broken feathers from being, thrown around. And he was covered in mites. Like, he was so covered in mites that I had taken him into our quarantine area and just put my arm around him to take a quick picture. And within like 10 seconds of contact with him, my arm was covered in mites. It was so disgusting. And so he is now healthy. He's happy. He's been here for a few months. And it's a happy ever after for him, because when he came out of quarantine, the very first turkey he saw was a female turkey we have here by the name of Queen. And instantly the sparks flew and they're in love. And so now Queenie and Alvin spend their days hanging out. And, it's really wonderful. In fact, we have 4 turkeys here. But Alvin has chosen Queenie to hang out with, and it's beautiful. So, this turkey got really, really lucky. He's a happy ever after. We have another turkey here by the name of Barry Manilow, who is also a meat bird, but he's a double-breasted bronze. And what that means is most people don't understand that, when you consume animal products, when you eat animals, you essentially are eating babies. Babies that were slaughtered for our food. Barry Manilow is about 7-8 months old now. He's already over 40 pounds. And turkeys' life expectancies are only 3 months. So they're bred to be harvested at 3 to 4 months of age. So even when you rescue out of that, they don't have a long lifespan because we have genetically modified them to become so short in their life to feed people. So Barry has some problems. He's the same kind of bird as Alvin. except I don't think Alvin is a double-breasted. We'll find out. Alvin is still pretty young. He's really big, but we do feed them very specifically to try to help them from getting totally big to where their legs can't carry their body. As far as Cherry Blossom, oh my gosh. So Cherry's magical. Cherry is like a superhero, magical little piglet. Cherry is about 8 months old now. We rescued her just after Easter earlier this year. She, we actually got word of her plight on Easter Sunday. And Cherry is a farm piglet. She's a farm piggy, so she's a big piggy. So she was bred for her meat. And farm pigs are harvested at around 6 months of age. Cherry is about 8 months, so she's already lived longer than her life expectancy. And the awesome news is she's going to live for a really long time because she's safe here at the ranch. But when we rescued her, she was really, really, really sick. So she was born to a backyard breeder somewhere not too far from here. But apparently what happened, from what we can piece together, is that she was born at the small facility that she was born at in really disgusting conditions. And she ended up with sarcoptic mange, which is a really, really bad skin infection. It's bugs, it's little mites that eat through their skin and infest them, and it's really painful. It's very itchy, and she wasn't treated. And so she had turned up at a animal shelter, like a dog and cat shelter, as a stray. And the people think that it was probably the farmer that dropped her off. And I'm not sure why, but I'm grateful he did, because we got word of her plight and were able to bring her home to the ranch. And because we have the most amazing medical team of veterinarians that work with us, we were able to get her healthy. So when she came in, she looked like an armadillo. She looked like stone. The shelter had given her a medicated bath, and when they did that, they basically scrubbed her skin off. So she was completely exposed. She was really sick, and she was shutting down. Imagine how painful that would be if you didn't have any skin, and just the air touching it, and all the microbes in the air that are touching you, really, really sickly. So she's amazing. She's healthy. She's awesome. And like I said, she's a magical superhero. Her best friends are cows. She hangs out with Faith and Hope in the cow pasture. So she's pretty great. People love her. Again, people followed her story because she was so critically sick when she came to us, and her transformation pictures are mind-boggling. You just would not even recognize her. So she's amazing. She's healthy. She's happy. She's a beautiful ambassador of kindness here at the ranch, and again, helps us educate people.
Well, that's awesome. I'm sorry. Cherry's so much fun to play with. She loves belly rubs. She's like a dog. Pigs are basically just dogs with snouts.
Yeah.
So I just think that's awesome. I think she does do a great job advocating for the other animals who might not get the same attention from the online community. She's a representative for them. So I just think that's awesome. And she is so healthy now. Like, it really is. When Jen says you almost never even recognize this pig, like, it was a complete transformation. She was a completely different color. Like, I thought she was a different breed of pig when I first saw her because of her coloring. I thought she was a specific breed, that the Durocs that have that kind of red coat. And then she finally healed up, and I'm like, oh, okay. She's not actually a color at all. She was just that badly infected with mange, and I've never seen head to toe mange like that before in my life. And I just can't fathom how uncomfortable and how painful that was. And it's just so fortunate that there's places like Sail Ranch Sanctuary, so that animals have a place where they can go and get refuge and get care and get love and compassion where they otherwise wouldn't have it. So thank you so much for everything you're doing, Jen. It really means a lot to a lot of people, but I know it means everything to these animals.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I feel really blessed that this is my path and that I get to serve these animals every day, and I get to be part of happy ever afters. I get to not only help these animals fight for their life and get healthy, but I also get to connect them with our community and teach compassion, because, you know, I think we all need some more of that, right? So, you know, it's an honor to take care of them. It's a lot of work, emotionally, physically, but it's also the most amazing and the most rewarding thing to be part of, to see these animals go from death's door to healthy, confident, grounded, and happy, beautiful beings. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I've actually got the video for Cherry lined up. Shall we show people a little clip of Cherry?
Yeah, well, real quick, I just wanted to mention, Cherry is actually a little bit famous now too, as is Faith, because they were recently both featured on the Dodo, which I think is just amazing.
Oh, amazing! That's awesome.
Yeah, they were. Cherry's been on there a couple times. Cherry, and then they did a follow-up story with, you know, Cherry and her best friend Faith, a cow. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. We love the Dodo. It's always wonderful to have a spotlight shown on our work, and really, you know, our work to showcase the animals and what we're doing here, because focusing on animals with special needs and medical care is really costly. So anytime we get a spotlight to help, you know, shine a light on that, we're so grateful. Yeah. Like today, how amazing is this? Thank you, guys.
No worries. Thank you for everything you're doing.
My pleasure.
Well, let's show people a quick video of Cherry so they can get an idea. And then, maybe we can actually talk about the kind of, you know, how much things actually cost to give people a kind of push for why they should be donating. So, check out this quick video, everyone. This is a quick video of Cherry. Okay, and we're back, everyone. So yeah, that'll give you a bit of an idea of some of the incredible work Jen's doing at Sale Ranch with Cherry the pig there. Now, one thing, which is a big thing, the reason why we're doing this fundraiser, it obviously costs a lot of money to look after all these animals, especially in the conditions that they're coming in. I mean, Jen, do you want to tell us a bit more about, you know, exactly how much some of these things are costing, and, you know, why it's kind of important that we kind of, you know, that we're doing this?
Absolutely. So, Sale Ranch operates sort of on both ends of the rescue spectrum. So we specialize in animals with special needs, specifically medical cases. So we talked a little bit about the babies that are discarded from our food industry. But then on the whole other end of that spectrum, we offer hospice or end of life to senior horses and those with medical conditions. So just to give you guys an idea, just medicine. So I'm not talking about emergencies. I'm just talking about daily maintenance medicines for the animals that we have here is about $1,000 a month, just in everyday medicine. Our hay. So our hay, we feed lots of different things, but just the hay alone, we get a monthly hay shipment, which is $1,500. And that doesn't take in, you know, supplements and, you know, food for the other animals. That's just hay. So, you know, it's really expensive. In addition to that, we have medical cases that come in often. And right now we are in something called culling season, C-U-L-L-I-N-G, which means to kill or to rid. And I also like to call it critically sick baby season, because newborn goat babies are called kids. And kidding season is starting now, and it runs through April, give or take a couple weeks either side. Cows, their babies are called calves. And calving season, although there is no real season for it, newborn calves are discarded daily by the thousands. In our area, there is sort of a short time frame where the numbers are even higher. And so just to give you guys an idea, we have about 11 days ago, we rescued 2 calves. One was 1 to 2 days old, so 24 to 48 hours. She was born, already taken from her mom, and taken to a really low-end auction. And the pen that she was placed in had every single kind of bacteria, illness, disease, not to mention history of expired animals in there. And so you have these newborn babies, whether they're goats, sheep, cows, whatever baby that's unwanted. Oftentimes they find themselves in these places. And when animals are born, they're exactly like human beings. We don't have an immune system. And these babies, the very first milk that they consume is called colostrum. And colostrum is the mother's first milk that's full of the antibodies to help these babies build their immune system. But they normally don't even get that. They're pulled, they're removed from their moms, and they're discarded or taken to be sold off for a couple bucks. And what happens is they're blasted. So they're brand new, they have no immune system, and they have no antibodies. And they're blasted with all of these serious, serious illnesses. So we saved 24 to 48 hour old baby a week ago Tuesday. And unfortunately, she didn't make it. She succumbed to the illnesses that had just ravaged her body. She was just too tiny and just too weak to beat the infections that were trying so hard to kill her. And just in that week of, around the clock medical care, it was almost $1,600 just in care for her for 1 week. We currently have another baby in our quarantine area who is critically sick. She's a little bit older. She's 3 to 4 months old, and she was a veal calf. So what that means is sometimes when babies born into dairy, when the babies are removed, the farmers will either sell them off in lots, meaning sell them off in groups, to veal farmers. And what they do is they put these babies in these little either dog igloo type houses with a little fence around them, or a wooden crate. And the baby that we have out in quarantine right now, she's about 3 to 4 months old. She was a veal calf, and the reason that we saved her, and I still don't know what her outcome's going to be because she's really, really sick. But she has severely deformed front legs. She started when she was born. She was pulled. I don't know. Something happened at birth. Either perhaps she needed help being born, or her tendons were contracted. Very common, which is a super simple fix when babies are newborn because they're very pliable. The older you get, the bones aren't as pliable. But she was stuffed in this crate, and as she grew, she's big. She's a Holstein. And so as she grew into this crate, her legs are deformed. She has no muscle. She's underdeveloped. She's undernourished, because in these crates, they just have a chain around their neck and they drink milk from a bucket. And in veal, I guess they don't want muscles or anything like that. So she's very fragile. And she's fighting for her life. She's fighting a couple serious diseases. And in fact, one of them is what took the baby Annie the other day. And so, you know, we've named her Mercy, and she's ongoing medical. I have no idea where we're going to land. If initially I thought that when I rescued Mercy, I brought her home to the ranch because I thought we would just euthanize her. I thought that we would just save her from being killed horrifically and just help her cross over humanely. But she's fighting. She's fighting to live. And so while I don't know what her story is, our medical bills are, rising because she's getting, fluids around the clock. She's getting a ton of different medications. We did do one x-ray of her leg to see, if we can even help her because of the deformities with her legs, always the foremost super important thing for us is quality of life for these animals. We don't want anybody to suffer. And so if I continue to help Mercy fight to get over these illnesses, do I still have to euthanize her because her legs are terrible? That would be really unfair to have her go through all of this just to help her cross over. So she has a lot of things going on. And where I thought we were going to bring her home to the ranch and just help her, humanely pass over, she's fighting really hard. The good news or the glimmer of hope here is that she is still fighting. We are starting to see small positive things popping up yesterday and more so this morning. We did do an x-ray of her one leg just to see, if there's anything we can do to help her with her legs, and there is. So just like with us, when we're kids and we're growing, we have something called growth plates in our bones that, enable us to grow. And as we grow and get older, our growth plates close. Well, it's the same thing in animals. And so Mercy's growth plates, even though they're fusing in her knees, they are not totally closed, which means there's some stuff that we can do to help get her legs under her so that they can help support her weight, because she is going to be a huge cow. She's a Holstein, like I said, they're gigantic. And so, we have to make sure that quality of life, that if she beats these infections, that she can actually get up and walk around and be a cow. And so one of the things that we're looking at doing, we have a team of vets working on possible treatment plans for her. Once, assuming she can beat the infections and she gets strong enough, we're going to do a full series of x-rays. We're going to do specialized injections into these growth plates to help bone grow really, really fast, to help bring her legs under her. Because remember, I said she's really malnourished and underdeveloped because she was stuffed in this crate. She doesn't even pick up her head. She hangs her head low. She's not used to being able to lift up her head. And so, there's a lot of stuff that we have to work on as far as muscle development, but the bone, the skeleton system, right? We have to make sure that that's going to hold up her body if she survives, the infections that are trying to kill her. So, potentially the medical cost here is really big. We're looking at splinting, possible orthotics. We're just not sure. I'm not sure what Mercy's future holds yet, but I do know that we have the most amazing vets working on, different treatment plans to give her the best chance at survival. As far as, just the fact that it's culling season and we're going to have medical emergencies all the time between now and the next several months, our medical costs are huge. There's a reason that people don't go after, fragile babies in medical cases, because one, it's gut wrenching. It breaks your heart when they don't make it. You spend 24 hours a day doing everything you can to try to save them. And on top of that, you've got insane medical cost. But we do it, and we're blessed to do it because, there's thousands of babies that die every single day on cold floors alone, that don't have a name, that don't know love and kindness, and don't have people online praying for them and rooting for them. And so we do that. It's tough stuff. And, I know why people don't do it. I get it. Trust me. It's really, really difficult. But even the baby that we lost the other day, she knew love and kindness, and we did everything for her, and she had an online community all over the world rooting for her. And so, we have more babies coming, and I hope that we can save them. We do our best that we can, but again, it's so expensive. It's so expensive.
Yeah. Well, as a kind of good things, we've actually had some more donations come in, so maybe we should announce them, which would be nice.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's go through the list here. So we've got, this is going from the last hour, so some of these we might not have mentioned. We've got Irina, who given us $25. King Arugula has given us $50. Emma Page, $5. There's been an anonymous donation for $30. Sean Connolly just gave us $50. Ruth Walters, $35. Jonathan Justice, $5. And Asil is giving us $2. So thanks so much to all you guys for your donations. That's amazing. We're currently just going to refresh just to see. So our current standing at the moment, we're currently on $275 on the GoFundMe, and $130 on the super chat. So we're around the $400 mark.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Thank you guys so much.
And we're an hour and a half in. We've got a long way to go yet. So
it's amazing, and it's awesome, and I'm so grateful. This is amazing. I mean, to help us raise funds for medical cost, gigantic for us. To have you guys spotlight our mission here and what we do is it's big, because the work that we're doing here is life-saving, and it just requires so much and such a team of amazing people, and so I'm just really grateful. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Apparently Asil, he said, say my name backwards, so it's actually Lisa of Canada. Okay, so thanks, Lisa.
Thank you very much, Lisa. So we have a couple questions in the chat here, Jen. I know you're very busy, so I want to run some of these questions by you real quick. Absolutely. One of them is a lot of people are wondering if they can sponsor specific animals.
Yes.
So how could someone go about doing that?
Absolutely. So we have a couple things. So you can definitely sponsor an animal specifically on our website at www.saleranchsanctuary.org. There is a tab on their animals, and if you click there, it has all of our animals' profile with their rescue story, and you can actually sign up and become a superhero for them. You can become a reoccurring monthly sponsor for a specific animal, or you can also become a superhero for the ranch itself. And you can sign up for as little as $5 a month to $500 a month. It's, whatever you can do. You can actually put in your dollar amount that you want. And so, yes, so you can choose to sponsor a specific animal, or you can choose to do a general. We offer both.
That's awesome. Okay, one more question. How do they get food supplies to feed sanctuary animals? For instance, are all animals they have herbivorous? I guess what they're driving at is, are you a vegan sanctuary?
Yeah, so we are. We do not serve animal products to anybody. Most everybody here, is on hay. They're on some sort of a pellet. They also we give fresh fruits and vegetables to our barnyard every day. Cherry, I think Cherry probably, because she's on such a special diet, we don't want her to become like a 1,000-pound pig, which could easily happen because she's a farm pig. So she gets fruit and vegetables. She eats hay. She does get a special pellet, but it's all plant-based.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm getting people telling me right now, I'm checking it, but I'm getting people telling me that for some reason they're getting 404 errors from the link I just put, but it's up. So I don't know what that's all about. But hopefully we'll get some people to sponsor some animals after today. That'd be amazing. That'd be beyond our goals. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, that's really, so we're all donation and volunteer based. So, Sail Ranch operates on the kindness and generosity of others. So that would be super huge. Plus our sponsors. So so our reoccurring monthly sponsorships allow us to not only, serve the animals here, but it enables us to plan for future animals that we can rescue. We have to think the long term on everything here. Everything we do is for, longevity. So when I say yes to an animal, I'm not just saying yes today. I'm saying yes, potentially for those that stay here, that we offer forever refuge to. I have to take into consideration 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever their life expectancy is. I have to take all of that into consideration before I can say yes to another animal, because first and foremost, we have a responsibility to the animals who already found refuge here at Sail Ranch. And I have to make sure that not only they're okay, but they're thriving, that when we grow and we bring more animals in for medical care and refuge, that it doesn't affect them. So by our monthly sponsors, that enables us to plan. Who else can we help? Who can we, bring here for medical care and then potentially rehome, in a vegan home, or we'll have forever refuge here. I have to look at all of that. And our sponsors, that's the only way that it works. So right. Sponsorship is huge.
That's awesome. Banana Warrior Princess just wanted to say respect to Jen for all the hard work that you do.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, she's a guest later on. Oh, tomorrow she'll be on at 5 a.m. your time. So if you fancy getting up early.
I am. Well, I'm up, believe it or not. We're up. We're, ranching's all the time. And especially when you have sick, critical babies, we're up all night, trying to keep them going. So yeah, I'll try to tune in.
Yeah, I think Jen mentioned this already, but I just really want to mention it again because I think it's worth mentioning. When she brings home these babies, they stay in the house with her. Like she hasn't just created a home for the animals. She brings the animals literally into her home so she can provide them around the clock care. It's just unbelievable the amount of time and effort that goes into doing this, and that there's people like Jen out there who are willing to go through this tragedy over and over again so that they can help some of these animals. So for every 100 tragedy that Jen has to witness and has to live through, she's able to help 1 or 2 or 3 animals. And that makes all the difference in the world to those animals.
Totally. Jen, do you want to tell people, obviously, if anyone's in the area, obviously you do kind of visits, don't you? How could people come and see the animals at Sail Ranch?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So we love visitors. We love visitors because the more people that I can share the animals with and their rescue stories and talk about, some of the things that we talk about, that's amazing. So we love visitors. We love our community, and we offer monthly ranch tours to the public. So we'll open up the ranch one Saturday a month for guided tours where people can come in, meet the animals, hear their stories. And then for the animals who love affection and attention, you get to have some, quiet time with them. It's pretty amazing. We also offer private tours. And we also connect our animals with at-risk and foster kids in our community. Once they're healed and healthy, we connect them to kids who are hurting, and just try to help them find comfort and some decompression. So we do a lot of different things here, but we love for people to come out. We also host like 3 to 4 events at the ranch annually. So we just had something called Grace Giving last month. It was our big Thanksgiving celebration where we actually celebrated the rescued turkeys. So while we ate our beautiful feast, they ate with us. We did not eat them. They were not on the menu. They were the guests. So we do some really fun and cool stuff here on bigger scale, 3 to 4 times a year. Otherwise, probably like 9 or so months of the year, we open up the ranch one Saturday a month to the public, and of course, private tours. And all of that information is on our website too, saleranchsanctuary.org. There'll be a visit tab. So the animal tab for sponsorships to become a monthly superhero for us, as well as upcoming events, or you can get all that information there.
Awesome. Yeah, everyone should definitely go. I went, had an incredible time, and can't wait to come back and see all the legends.
Yeah, that was amazing. I know. Yeah, that was amazing. We should have loved your visit. That was fun.
Yeah.
And just think about how much more it's expanded it's probably going to be the next time you come out, Chris.
Yeah. It just seems to get bigger and better.
Yeah.
Big moves.
Totally.
Definitely.
There's a few things in the chat I wanted to go over. Let me just scroll back so I can see. Yeah, vegan sweet potato. Just wanted to say to you, Jen, that you're an amazing woman. So you got some love from
you.
vegan sweet potato there. Someone had a chat saying, with bringing animals into your own home, do you sometimes feel that doing so is a burden, or do you genuinely enjoy it? Because obviously it must be quite, it must be quite difficult.
It is. I never feel like it's a burden. I always feel very honored that I get to serve these animals and that I get to help, share their story, give them a voice in a way that people can hear them. I used to say that, I would speak for them. Animals, are without voice, but that's not true, is it? They actually have voices. It's just nobody's listening to them. And so I think that, I'm incredibly blessed that this is my path to help, bring the animals into our community online in a way that people will hear them. And so while at times, when we have really sick babies, it's exhausting and emotionally, it's really hard. I mean, it's devastating when we lose a baby. But like I said earlier, I think it's a gift. It's a gift to be able to be with them no matter how long they have. Because so many babies don't know love or kindness or the warmth of a human being. And so, the hope is that we can save so many more. But even when we lose them, at least I'm giving them that. So never a burden ever. I always feel blessed to be able to do this. Is it exhausting? Absolutely. Is it gut-wrenching at times? Absolutely. It's incredibly emotional, and there's a lot of ups and downs when we get in different seasons of our year, depending upon, how many babies, are in trouble at that time. And so it's tough. I mean, like I said earlier, I get it. I get why people say, I don't want to specialize in medical cases. It's expensive and you lose babies, and that hurts a lot. But it's such important work to do. And without us, they wouldn't have a name and people wouldn't know their story. And helping them to, like I said, connect with our community and, whether it's here locally or online, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, you're doing incredible work, Jen. Again, I think we can say it enough. Just want to say thanks for everything that you do for these animals, because, if it wasn't for you, then most of these animals, wouldn't be here. So,
right.
You do.
Yeah, they definitely wouldn't be at the ranch. Right. That's for sure. Everybody here, everybody at Sale Ranch, with the exception of 2 animals now, would not be on this planet if we did not intervene. They would not be alive. That's a big deal. And I am proud of that. So thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely something to be proud about. So that's great. So guys, if you're watching at the moment, get those donations in, guys. Let's rack up that total. Let's see some super chats. Get to the GoFundMe, which is above you. Go to the address, drop some money, and all of this money is going to go towards helping all these animals that Jen's been talking about. Or if you want to make a more long-term thing, hop on the website and become a sponsor an animal. and make a real difference for its life, which would be incredible.
Absolutely.
Oh, apparently someone
And
said Sail Ranch has got a clothing store as well. Is that right?
yeah, they have.
We
I'm sorry, Jen. Go ahead. You're going to sell it better than I ever would.
That's okay. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I don't want to talk over anybody. Yeah, on our website, we do have a store where you can purchase, some Sail Ranch swag, and all of the proceeds, all of them go to the animals. So you can check that out. Again, that's on the website, the sailranchsanctuary.org. So we've got the animal tab. We have the visit tab, and we have a store, and there's also a learn tab on there too, so you guys can continue to learn about the different plights of animals as well. So lots of good stuff on the website.
Awesome. Everyone go and check it out.
For sure. Jen, before we let you go, I had one more thing I wanted to ask you about, because I think it kind of gives you a unique perspective. So we've talked about in the past how some people will argue that God gave man dominion over animals, and so they think that that's justification for their treatment of animals. Because God gave us this dominion, their treatment of animals is a-okay. But you also think God gave us dominion, but your interpretation of what that means is a little bit different than how people usually interpret it. Could you share that?
Sure. Yeah, I do think that God gave us dominion over the animals to help us. Just because we are, more powerful or considered, superior, I think that gives us a greater responsibility to care for those that are weaker than us. It doesn't mean that we can just obliviate them. I think that, it's our responsibility to care for them. I think that there's no way that a loving God would create any being to be tortured the way that we're torturing these animals today. I mean, I just don't believe that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jen. I know you have so much work that you probably got to get to. You got to probably go help out all sorts of animals today. I know this week alone you've been incredibly busy, so I thank you for carving out some time of your day to come talk to us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jen.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you.
No worries. We'll keep you informed how it goes.
Hopefully maybe tomorrow morning we can have you check back in with us, just so we can give you a recap of how much we've brought in. Hopefully me and Chris will be asleep, or we'll be awake still, and we won't just
we'll try.
Live stream. Yeah.
I know you guys are so amazing. I can't believe you're going to stay for 24 hours. It's just incredible. So I'm going to be checking in and out too, in between working outside and stuff. I'm definitely going to be visiting the live stream. You guys are just amazing. So thank you so much for doing this for us.
Not a problem. Our pleasure.
It's our pleasure. Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
No worries. We'll see you soon then, Jen. Thank you so much.